All right, so I'm now joined by a kid. He was born and raised here in Windsor. He's a 2019 OHL champion as well with the Guelph Storm. Also spent time in Sudbury and Flint before pandemic kind of ruined things. But currently playing for Queen's University right now is Owen Lalonde. Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, are you up in Kingston right now?
Yeah, been here most of the school year. Little break at Christmas, but I've been here most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's not
Yeah.
too close to be like remote or anything, eh? But
No, it's not really easy to just go home for a weekend or whatever, but
no.
it's nice. I love it up here.
Yeah, I know. I actually have never really been around there, but it's got a good hockey community and stuff too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about like the minor hockey and stuff, but like the Queens, like the university is really big in this town. Like it kind of runs a lot of what's going around here. So I know our hockey is like pretty popular for younger kids and stuff like that. So it's pretty nice to be up here.
Yeah, it's good because you don't get a lot of that for OUA or CIS hockey, and it's good to have because a lot of kids like here, like a lot of kids don't think going to Windsor Lancers is a good thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I know I was a little bit surprised too. Like, a lot of the kids, yeah, there's a lot of kids that come and our coach's kid is a younger kid and plays AAA, so all his buddies and stuff come. So it's nice they look up to us, so it's still fun.
Yeah, and I'd say it's kind of a good hockey community there because like there's a lot of former front acts on the show and stuff or on the team and stuff too, right? So
Yeah, it's like I think there's maybe one or two kids that didn't play in the OHL that are on our team. So
yeah,
it's like we our almost our whole roster is like either OHL or WHL. So
yeah.
it's nice, yeah.
And you guys are killing it too. But we'll get into that. We'll I mean some familiar faces on the team too. But
Yeah.
it's been a long road there. I mean, in a short period of time for you too. I mean, kind of go back to the beginning. We talked a little bit off camera, but go back to the beginning. What kind of area did you grow up in? What schools you go to? I know you're a St. Joe's kid, so probably growing up around there, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I played just Riverside like my first year before AAA started, and then went over to like the junior Spitfires. Started in Adam Minor, so I like went all the way through with the AAA junior Spits there. And yeah, like I went to St. Joe's like yourself. You're a little bit older than me, but we obviously have some mutual friends that went to St. Joe's, and but yeah, and then grade 10, like grade 11, I left again. So, but yeah, growing up, just minor hockey, junior, Windsor Junior Spitfires and St. Joe's first. So it was fun.
Just like normal like hockey kid growing up. Probably a lot of other sports too. I mean, obviously your family is pretty athletic, right?
Yeah, I played baseball all growing up too. Like I was pretty into baseball. Like I was always back and forth, hockey, baseball. And then at 15, I had decided to go the hockey route, but baseball was big in my life too.
Was that an easy decision for you or no?
It was more so like I was able to leave earlier for hockey. If I stuck out with baseball, I would have had to wait a few more years and
Yeah,
possibly go whatever in the States or somewhere to try to play.
yeah,
But hockey, I was able to leave in grade 11, and I was ready to go.
yeah, absolutely. Well, definitely you were, man. I mean, like I said, you made your
Hmm.
way up through the AAA ranks before getting drafted. I'm assuming to Sudbury. So, what do you remember about first kind of coming into the league? You had a full time spot on that Sudbury team right away. It seems.
Yeah, I was. I honestly didn't really know what to expect. Like my parents weren't really hockey people. Like my dad played when he was younger and stuff, but nothing really serious. So other than like other people who have parents who have played the game and stuff kind of know what to expect, but none of us really knew what it was going to be like. So it was kind of just taking it a step at a time for me, and especially leaving the Sudbury was pretty tough just because it was so far away from home. But
Yeah.
obviously it wasn't I mean, it turned out to not be like the best situation for myself, but it obviously like helped me in growing and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it was obviously a good experience in that way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was 1 year too, and I mean, fuck, you're what, 16 years old?
Yeah, I was 16.
right? Yeah. So like
Yeah,
moving all the way to Sudbury, it's cold, it's far.
yeah, yeah,
That was a good experience now to be in Kingston and go through that.
yeah.
I'm sure, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So only 1 year there, but one thing I want to talk about too is I think it was that same year. These things don't get talked about a lot. Is those under 17 tournaments? You
yeah.
played in one of those, and great experience, of course. And so I can tell 9 guys out of that team are now in the NHL, or at least signed.
Yeah,
So fuck, getting some good
yeah,
experience with those guys, right?
yeah. I mean, I would be curious to see who they are that are in the NHL because I was trying to think of that. I was trying to think of that at one point, like, trying to think of back of who was on that team because we had a good team. We made it to the final. We lost to Sweden, but it was pretty cool. Obviously, like being there for Team Canada and um, obviously a really cool experience.
Yeah,
Um,
just
but
representing
yeah,
the
like
country,
we
right?
had we had a good team. It was fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up now and see because like they put like the logos next to the guys' names. And again, they might just have contracts and
I know like the top guys. I know like Ty Smith,
Highsmith,
like Kalen Addison. I know.
yeah, as in Aiden
There's a few guys.
Dundas,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Nolan Foot, and
Chisholm.
the goalies too, right? Both goalies are at least signed. Hunter Jones and
Yeah,
Jacob Ingham. So
Hingham. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. We had a good squad.
yeah, I know. Again,
Yeah,
just kind of be part of that is again just
yeah,
another piece of the puzzle. But like
yeah,
talking about, you spent a year in Sudbury before moving over to Guelph, which was obviously
yeah,
a great move for you. But there, you guys would kind of grow to be the team that you were at
yeah.
first. That first year, did you guys feel anything like was going on, something special, or was it like we got a lot of work to do?
Yeah. Moving over to Guelph. I obviously knew there was like a good core of guys there. We were a little bit younger. Like there was a good group of 2000s and 99s, I felt like. But at that point, I was still like relatively young in the league. So we were all right that first year I got there.
Yeah.
And there was a new coach that first year too. So it was kind of like just getting used to things, I feel like. But then that second year was kind of when we took off. But yeah, so we had a good core, like kind of that whole time though.
Yeah, it's just always interesting to talk about when you look at like obviously we're looking at the Spitfire teams a lot here, and it's like you rewind a year before, a year, 2 years before that championship win, you don't
Yeah.
really see it like getting that going that way.
Yeah.
So when you look back on a championship team, it's like and talking to a person like yourself, I always wonder like was everyone on the same page and thinking, hey, we're going to do this, or we know what we have to do to get to that stage, right?
Yeah. It's I mean, the second year it was kind of like, all right, we have a good team here and let's see what we could do. But our team, we picked up a lot of guys, like, which helped. But I mean, it kind of just added on to our core that we had. But I think we definitely needed to like obviously pick up a few guys, which we did. But like I think everyone kind of was all in for that because we knew we had a good enough core. We just probably needed to add a few more pieces, which we did.
Yep.
But it was like I think everyone kind of had the feeling that we had definitely had a chance to do something. So that's probably, I mean, obviously our GM thought the same thing. So
Yeah, I mean that's the mentality you have to have, right? It's just
yeah,
it's always good to hear the stories. It's like, what if you guys are like, fuck, they're horrible, then all of a sudden, you start turning it around. It's
yeah,
those stories is like movies you like to hear. But
exactly. Yeah.
you mentioned loading up. I mean, Nick Suzuki was obviously a huge addition to that team, and then you guys pretty much ran away that whole season too, right? Leading into the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, there was like 2 or 3 trades that kind of happened like within a couple of weeks of each other. I think Suzuki, when we got him, was like the last trade that we made. So once that happened, we're like, wow, like that, everyone was fired up, obviously. And I think everyone was like, well, this is our chance to do it, right? But the funny part was that we played like Kitchener a few times in their like end of the regular season, and they beat us like 2 or 3 out of the like 2 or 3 times out of like the last 3 times we played them, and we ended up playing them first round of playoffs. We're like, oh no, like as if this is happening, right? But then we ended up sweeping them. We kind of turned it on in playoffs. But yeah, it was just kind of funny how it worked out. But obviously everyone was pretty fired up when we got those guys.
Yeah, exactly. He just instills a little more confidence, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. As mentioned, like we were talking just about the talent on the team and you guys making your way. A lot of guys again making their way into the NHL now, but
Hmm.
now we get into playoff time, right? So again, everyone was probably confident in themselves, aside from the Rangers aspect of the playoffs, I guess. Eh? But now let's talk about that road to the playoffs because it was like almost easy for you guys until until you got to maybe Saginaw, right?
We played London second round. We went down 3-0.
Oh,
Yeah. So that was,
I thought you guys
I
won that
mean,
one 4-2.
no, that was our final series against Ottawa.
Okay.
So we went down 3-0 against London in the second round. We're like, well, I mean, yeah, obviously it was not the best situation to be in, but
Yeah.
we fought our way back through that somehow. It was pretty incredible. And then same thing with our next series against Saginaw. We went down 3-1, then came back. And then our final series, we went down 2-0 against Ottawa and then came back. So it was like kind of, yeah, it was kind of a roller coaster, but it was pretty cool to be part of that.
Yeah, I don't want to say it makes it better, but
Yeah,
it's
no, I know.
some
It makes it
competitive.
special now. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure looking back, it's like it feels that much better, right? Being
Yeah,
able to win
exactly.
when
Yeah.
there was a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so again, you get to that finals against Ottawa, going against another Windsor kid in net and Mikey DiPietro. I'm sure
Yeah.
you guys weren't too much of strangers.
Yeah. I mean, I know him pretty well. Like we used to skate together and stuff a little bit, but he got injured the second game. So,
Oh.
which I mean, too bad for him, but like it definitely helped us.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, they like they hadn't lost a game in the playoffs yet before
yeah,
we played them, and then they beat us the 2 games in a row, and then we reverse swept them kind of, I guess, but they lost Mikey, so it was kind of a big blow for them. But yeah.
because obviously they sent them there that trade
Yeah,
deadline, right? Like
for
again,
that.
yeah, exactly. You guys, they were doing the same thing. They were freaking loaded up too.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was a good series.
yeah. That's what everyone knew it was going to be a battle going into it, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, again, making a good, interesting final is always better, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it must have been cool. Again, Guelph, not too far from home. You beat another Windsor kid, but it must have been really cool to raise that championship. Probably going to Spitfire games as a kid and just knowing the
Yeah.
league. Right now you're a champion.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty unreal. Like, it was just kind of like, I still get chills thinking about it now. Like just seeing like old videos and stuff I watch all the time, or if it comes up, whatever, I'll watch it. I still get like chills from it. But just like I was able to like be on the ice when the last like couple seconds were going down. So it was pretty cool to like be right there and in the middle of the pile. And
Yeah.
but yeah, like just obviously going back to like the old Spitfires days, like seeing those guys win all the time and stuff. It's like it's pretty special to do it myself too, obviously with the Guelph team. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, needless to say, I'm sure like given the choice, you would have had a stint in Windsor, right?
Yeah, obviously that would have been pretty cool, but
Yeah.
Guelph was a good spot too.
Yeah, Guelph's a good place to be for hockey, and you guys were
Yeah.
good at the time.
Yeah, Guelph's another great community for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then from there, like for the OHL, you went to wrap it up in Flint again. Not too far, at least.
Yeah.
Now you get to go over to the States. So
Yeah.
the pandemic kind of ruined that, but you guys were looking to be a favorite for that year too.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, Flint was probably like the most fun I've had like in my hockey career. Like it was just like big credit to a former Spitfire and Eric Wellwood as our coach. It was just like the best time having him as our coach, and we had like a great group of guys. We still see each other a lot, so just like kind of says how close we were. But yeah, it was we had a really good squad too.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, too bad what happened, and
Mhm.
the fact I couldn't get like an overager year there was really shitty too. Like would have been a lot of fun. So, but yeah, Flint obviously doesn't have a great rep, but like there's honestly, I mean, Guelph is like a different fun because we won, but like in terms of enjoying myself, probably had Flint was probably like the top spot for my career.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you get to go to a new place, different country this time. I
Hmm.
know it's the States, but still. So, I mean, look at it
Yeah,
now; it's so different, right?
yeah, exactly.
And again, like you mentioned, Eric Wellwood and Mark Rideout, two Windsor guys,
Yeah,
two former Spitfires, and
yeah,
probably cool to be around those guys. Two good guys, two really good guys.
yeah. Well, I guess I forgot to mention Rides,
Yeah.
but he was awesome to have too. Like that's what made it so special. It's just like our coaching staff, like just kind of mixed really well with like the guys on our team, and a lot of the guys were older, so it was just like easy to mess around with them and whatever, be loose in the room, and obviously helped that we won a lot. But
Yeah.
they're great guys to have around.
Well, I'm sure it's part of the reason why you guys were winning too, right? Everyone's
Yeah, yeah,
good, confident. That's what it's really
exactly,
all. Well, that's a big part of it.
exactly, yeah,
And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And then one thing I wanted to bring up too. I mean, given this pandemic, and you guys were on a run to maybe get to the championship again. Still to this day, the defending OHL champions is the Guelph
yeah,
Storm. So I mean, you still got that
yeah.
that
I know.
ring, I guess.
I always found that kind of funny. It just no one else has been able to really experience that since our last year. So it's kind of like a nice feeling to know that no one else has taken that from us yet.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's kind of funny. But
yeah.
yeah,
It's just one of those things you fucking joke about, or like
yeah,
given our world nowadays, it's like it's crazy to think,
I know,
3 years almost we're going without a
I
champion.
know.
So
It's
glad
insane.
that things are back now, at least, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure it's gonna happen this year. So
We're not going to get into too much of that shit, but
yeah, no,
um,
it's fine.
I want to talk about the Mem Cup, man. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously having Mem Cup ties here in Windsor, and then going out east for it to Halifax. What was it like for you? Have you ever been out there before? Or? Yeah.
No, no, Halifax was pretty amazing. I thought it was a cool city. Like we didn't get to do too much around like the city and stuff, but like we were right downtown. It was really nice. The rink was incredible. Like it was, I kind of compare it to like a Kitchener, but a little bit bigger. So like the atmosphere was like insane, and it was just cool because like all the sports net is there and all the cameras and interviews are going on and stuff. So it's kind of like surreal a little bit to see like that you're part of that. But it was pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna also bring it up too, like talking about like the OHL championship. They always say like any championship is something you'll never forget and stuff like that, right? But really,
Yeah.
when you get there is when you kind of realize it. Maybe you can agree. I mean, me just as a fan, when we had the Men Cup here, again, I was working at the arena at the time, so I'm like, holy fuck, this is big time, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't until like I really seen it in front of me that I realized how big it was.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's hard to kind of see it when you're playing because I'm sure there's obviously a lot of people watching, and so it kind of maybe will look a little bit bigger because it's on Sportsnet and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
just playing in the game is like, I mean, I had never been so nervous in my life, like going out for a game. Like just obviously that that's the big game, right? Like
yeah.
the
The Men
bright
Cup's a
lights
big
are
deal.
on, and exactly. So I don't know. It was pretty cool. I mean, it was too bad we didn't get to win that. It would have been pretty special, but yeah,
Another battle.
definitely something I'll remember being part of. It was awesome.
Yeah, obviously not the intended you guys wanted, but I mean, like
Yeah,
almost another comeback um, from behind kind of thing, like you mentioned in the playoffs too. Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but again, just losing to the team that would go on to win it too, I guess, right? Like, I don't know
yeah,
about those things. Like some people think like, oh, at least I lost to the team that won, and some people are like, well, fuck them anyway, right? Like,
yeah.
it's hard to like really draw a line like that.
No, I guess it's a better feeling knowing that you lost to the best team, but we beat them in the
Right.
round robin, so that kind of made it a little shittier because we knew we could have beaten them again. So
Well, that Mem Cup was like all over the place. Like everyone beat
yeah,
everyone almost, you know.
yeah, it was, yeah,
Yeah, where it wasn't like we
yeah.
had like a dominant team or anything like that. Really,
No, no, you're right.
made for a good cup. And again, the last one that took place. So you got
Yeah,
your name
exactly.
in
Yeah.
that book too, right? So
Yeah. I
I
know.
actually went down to Halifax this past winter, first time ever going out there and see the arena a little bit. It's cool. It's a big hockey town, big hockey
Yeah. Oh,
market,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's awesome. It's right downtown. It's
yeah.
right on the water. It's awesome.
Well, you get to see some cool stuff through the game, man. And traveling a
Yeah.
little bit and stuff. And one thing
Yeah.
I didn't really talk about, but you got to do some NHL training camps too through your time in the O. I think you did one with
Hmm.
the Leafs, one with Detroit. I'm sure it's always
Yeah.
cool to just get those calls and have a day or a weekend doing that. Must be pretty cool.
Yeah. They were both very cool. I mean, two original six teams, obviously pretty cool too. Like my first one was Toronto. It was awesome just because I'd never obviously done anything like that. And it was kind of cool because at main camp they kind of mingled all the free agents and the rookies with the big guys. So we got to play in like scrimmages with Marner and Tavares and Matthews and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. So that was awesome. And it was in Niagara Falls actually, which was fun too. So we got to do a little whatever and hanging out in Niagara Falls and stuff like that. And then Detroit's obviously was awesome too because of me growing up as a Wings fan. So that was pretty cool. And having Stevie Y there and was pretty surreal for me. I got stuck in an elevator with him one day and chatting with him a little bit. So it's pretty cool.
He wasn't grilling you at all or anything?
No. I mean, at the end of the camp, he was telling me I needed to work on my feet a little bit, but other than that, he didn't grill me too much.
Hey, any advice from a guy like that? You got to try and take it in a positive way,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So I was going to ask, obviously, of course, here in Windsor, like you're rather a Detroit fan, a Detroit or a Toronto fan, or something in between. So obviously, answer that question.
Yeah, Wings.
A Wings fan, seeing
Yeah.
them win championships as well throughout your childhood, right?
Yeah, definitely. Always been a Wings fan. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's cool to get the call from your favorite team, right? Even training camp.
Exactly.
So now, as we talked about a little bit at the beginning, we're at Queens, and you guys are killing it, running away with your division. Got to be the best team in the league, and some familiar faces from Windsor too. Patrick Sanfito, and is Graham still playing, or did he go off to ECHL?
No, he went off to play in the East Coast, but Patty is obviously a former Windsor guy. I told him that I was coming on to this podcast today, and he's loving it. He thought it was cool. But yeah, we're it's weird because we're only playing 3 different teams, so it's not really a great kind of representation of what we could be or who we are, I guess. But we're definitely having a good year so far. It's just weird because we haven't really. I mean, we're more than halfway through our season, but we've only played 11 games, I think.
Yeah.
So it's just like that's the biggest difference going from the OHL is just there's not really as much hockey.
Yeah.
But it's been awesome. I've loved every second of it here. Guys don't really think of the CIS as a great hockey league, but like every guy is almost a former OHL or CHL guy. It's good hockey, and a lot of guys go on to play pro. So I've loved it so far.
Yeah, it's something that we talk about here a lot, depending on our guests. And sometimes I'm like, maybe it's a little over, like we're beating dead horse here, but it still needs to get out there. I mean, with this whole elite thing as well, I mean, that proves it right there that we still need to, at least try to get the word out here. I mean, obviously, not like can only agree with what you said. It's top of the line hockey. So
yeah,
and getting an education while doing so, right? So
well, I think that's why I kind of picked Queens to come kind of to a place that has the best of both worlds, like obviously good academics and stuff, and the hockey. We have a good team, so it's been good so far.
What are you studying?
I'm just in arts and science right now, taking French and geography. I want to follow my mom's footsteps, go to teachers college.
Nice. Yeah, that's smart, man. Smart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing too, is taking this route obviously is a lot different than what you're used to, or maybe that other leagues are like, right? Not only are you doing school, you're doing, not only you're doing hockey, you're doing school and you're doing life all at once. So it's a lot.
exactly. It's just, yeah, it's different, but it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, if things were different, again, if you guys were able to showcase a little bit of it more and play some more teams, expand the divisions,
Mhm.
obviously it's because of COVID stuff, but
Yeah.
um, I love OUA playoff hockey, man.
Yeah. It's,
It's stellar. And this, so for people listening, obviously this is your first year. It's going to be a big year for you guys.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to playoffs. It's, I mean, a lot of the, like, there's a lot of older guys in the league too that may not be continuing to play hockey too, right? So they don't want to obviously end their career in playoffs. So I'm looking forward to playoffs. I think it's going to be good hockey.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. That's
Hmm.
again, it's like the top level in Canada post junior if you're not going pro, and
Yeah.
you get to better your future.
Hmm.
Again, so again, a kid who from Windsor, who's whose family are teachers, following that footsteps, but still playing the games. Pretty cool stuff, man. So it was cool to tell your
Yeah.
story here on the show.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. Nice talking to you.